This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from Batman the Animated Series, telling you to subscribe to Guys Night.
Review this movie, and it is a James Bond movie, and it is number 25. James Bond. Yes.
Spectre.
Unfortunately, Jared's not a James Bond fan.
I'm under the weather also, so either way, I'm not gonna.
And he fell asleep.
At the end. Yeah,
He
I was
fell
just
asleep.
like.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost fell asleep too.
I understand. It's because if you need to see this movie, you need to see all the movies at once. You need like a marathon.
You definitely need to marathon it. It's pretty much James Bond, the final chapter to me.
It really is, even though they said they might make another one after this.
With Idris Elba, I think.
No, with Daniel Craig.
Another one? No, Daniel Craig said this is his last one.
Sam Mendes said differently, and also the producer saying he's not contractually, but he might come back if they give him enough money.
I don't want him to. Let me knock out the plot. The point is that this one is the continuation of Skyfall, which I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed Skyfall, and I'm not even a huge James Bond fan. Well, I mean, every movie, it's the Daniel Craig, like, James Bond films.
From Royale till now, I believe, right?
Yeah, Casino Royale until now.
Because Royale is when he's a rogue.
Yeah, and he's like...
He's not even assigned to, like, United States.
Yeah, I know, like, he just became 007.
And you find out that
not even that. It's like the second one he becomes 00.
No, well, the first one he became 00 because in the beginning...
No, the first one he's just a rogue.
No, he became 00.
He's not a part of them.
I do remember he was a rogue.
At the very beginning, he was a rogue.
Yeah, because I remember Casino Royale came out at the same time as Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I just recently saw the cinema sins for that one, so...
Like, he doesn't really get hired till, like, that second one. When he blows up everything.
The point is, there's a new threat, Spectre. And played by Christopher Waltz. And to be honest with you, he's like one of the weakest. I mean, he's so menacing at first, like when you first meet him, and then it's just a huge letdown. He's in the shadows and everything, but he only appears, 3 times?
He's like
in the whole movie?
I would say he's basically a bitter son? He's a bitter son because he kills his father, because his father liked James better? It's kind of stupid.
Wasn't an adopted brother, I believe.
Yeah, like, 2 years before he ended up killing his father and faking his own death?
Yep.
What, 2 years? You got 2 years to get mad?
I don't want no brother.
Look, the point is that
Kill my family.
this was just a weak cookie cutter plot. Honestly, it's every generic, like...
To me, I feel like since they did so well with Skyfall, having that drama type family feel of Asian type thing, they wanted to take it and milk it for like this one. Oh, it's your adopted brother. It's pretty much Professor X versus Juggernaut again.
Shit. Yeah, except we don't have, like, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. We don't have that one line, or it's just, I would have laughed if Christopher Waltz said that.
Or in the deleted scenes of X-Men Last Stand, have Professor X go into his brain-dead twin brother who also can't walk.
Either way, this Bond movie, again, I'm not a huge fan, so my input on this one is going to be very low. As a movie itself, I feel like I've seen this before. Like, it's just, what's unique about this? Because it has the title James Bond. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have seen a couple of James Bond movies. I just don't really care much for them. My Bond, personally, I still love Sean Connery. I grew up with a guy, Pierce Brosnan, and he was good. And this is he was, I mean, like, compared to, like, I grew up with him. And then the Daniel Craig one, I feel like his performance is very dry. As a movie itself, the Bond girls were just there. I love how James Bond, every time, he makes out pretty much whenever there's death, James Bond is there to comfort you. I found that pretty funny, but I'm gonna honestly, this is literally below average. I'm giving this, just from a movie standpoint, it's slow. It's a 2.5 out of 4. I just, yeah.
Let's go over it. Any opinions?
This movie had potential, but it didn't go the distance. Honestly, the villain could have been used a lot better.
I'm not, dude.
It was just like, I don't know, like Sherlock Holmes kind of deal, just with a big chess game.
The Sam Smith songs.
But it's not Sherlock Holmes. So you get him menacing later on, but it's hard. It's really hard. The girl could have used a lot more action too.
What was her
Since
name?
she
What was
was
the actress's name?
She was really dry. She was really dry. I'm like.
like she knows how to use a gun. They skip combat phase, and it's like,
Well, they didn't skip combat. They kind of applied it because her father was Mr. White, an assassin for Spectre, and also that she doesn't like guns because she killed an assassin that was coming there to kill her father as a kid. So that's why she doesn't like guns. It's implied.
but she
Wow.
was just a weak.
Leah Sedux. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Hey, we don't need to.
Batista has one line in it.
Oh, yeah.
But Batista is probably the most menacing part of the damn movie.
If anything, he was the villain of this movie.
He is the villain of the movie because
He's the freaking T-1000 of the movie. He just keeps on getting back up. It's just like,
can we replace him with Arnold now in the next Terminator movie?
Honestly, in this performance, he kind of
shouldn't
close.
be another Terminator.
There will be another one because it made money in China.
No, there should only be Terminator and Judgment Day, and it ends there.
It's at like
There's no other.
it's at
no
a
more
$500
time,
million.
bullshit.
So hey, it's getting another one.
What? Oh my goodness. Anyway, this James Bond just pretty much reflects past throughout all the movies, pretty much from Royale till now.
Yeah, right.
Seeing all James Payne and the one person that's causing all the James Payne is his brother. So
It's adoptable.
it's just prologue of Skyfall. It's just someone's controlling the world again. They're like, oh, he has all eyes everywhere. What happened to the last one? What happened to the last one? He had the power of like every fucking technology in the world or some shit.
Goldfinger.
Yes, bring back Oddjob. Give me one of those.
Bring back Goldfinger.
Like, I was
Octopus,
surprised.
please.
Baron Samedi.
I was glad they at least bring back a Bond villain himself. It's Blofeld.
What happened? See, that's one thing that I kind of like about the 60s James Bond. I like the campiness. Like, I like the fact that they make fun of themselves. Like, what's your name? My name is Pussy Galore.
Well,
like, that to me is like the 60s. That time frame. Like, that Sean Connery period, like, right there in the 60s works perfectly.
We can't anymore because...
It's a realistic take.
No, it's not that. It's because Austin Powers ruined that.
Well, that too.
Austin Powers...
What? Dr. No. My favorite...
Wait, the dude got the scar.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at it in the movie, I was like...
Dr. No and... because he had
Even
the
car that they had, like, that was a big Easter egg when he was like, oh, if it came back in one piece, I'm like, ha 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 ha.
Well, he had the car in
And
Skyfall,
the car
so.
that, like, he got, I'm like, ha. Top of the hat to you, James Bond. I guess for throwing in your little Avengers Easter eggs.
It's kind of like a little bit more old school Bond, too, where it's just getting women.
Yeah, I like that.
Like,
he did have some gadgets.
He wasn't playing hard to get like the other ones.
That's true.
This one, he was just like, I'm Bond. Let's do this.
I was waiting for the one scene in the beginning when he's in Mexico, when he's like, don't worry, I'll be back in a minute. I was waiting for the scene where he just flies the helicopter back into the room like, all right, you ready
Oh yeah, that's
for
another
this?
big thing. Just helicopters everywhere in this movie.
There really are a lot of helicopter scenes. I did like.
Like, if you had a propeller, this is gonna be in it.
Like, I'd love to make fun of this movie, but I would fall
The only good part, I guess, for the villain had to be when he walks, and when James Bond finally figures out what he's up against.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, "Oh, hello, James. I know you've been watching." I always thought that was creepy. And then he has the signs. It's like this way.
Yeah,
Little mind games.
Yeah, it's a movie you really need to see. All Casino Royale, Quantum Solace. Unfortunately, I like this better than Quantum Solace. This Quantum Solace is a piece of shit.
Skyfall still handed on my favorite.
Yeah, then goes to Skyfall, which is probably the best Bond movie in a long time.
Yeah.
But not the best.
One of them.
It's one,
But so yeah, I give this 2.5.
I will have to agree and give this a 2.5 also, only because we've already seen this plot once before. Jared, you've already seen this movie today. I mean, this year. It was Mission Impossible.
Hey, how about the fact that, you know what's really sad? I was literally sitting in my seat like midway through. I was like, wow, I looked at the runtime. It's 2 hours and 28 minutes. I said, this is going to be a bit of a headache to get through because of how slow it's moving. It's a shame that Kingsman Service came out and it did a better job of being a James Bond movie than a James Bond movie. That's the real sad thing. You want me to tell you how I'm signing out today? Alright, so the overall score is a 2.5 out of 4. You have next week where it's Mockingjay Part 2, the final the final Hunger Games movie.
Still haven't watched the first one.
And
See,
then
I didn't see it.
But this is the one thing that like gives me sigh and relief. A month from today, exactly a month from today, the most anticipated movie of 2015 comes out. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I'll be there for that.
Yeah.
So what was that?
He'll finally stop jizzing his pants.
Exactly.
Did you buy your ticket? Buy your ticket. I think they're still
Just send me
available.
the link.
If there, I sent you
I'll
the
send you,
link.
I'll send you mine because you'll probably be in my one because his is sold out.
Yeah, I got the IMAX 3D.
I got the regular 3D, so.
Oh, you're quick to buy Star Wars
Yeah.
tickets, but you ain't quick to buy VIP tickets for freaking
VIP, it's like, look, you have to make your choices. That's where the trade-off might. It's like Star Wars or VIP at Rhode Island, which you can check out our videos on our site, which will be up this Friday.
Are we gonna do San Diego this year if we can get in?
Next year.
Next year, or if we can get in, or buy tickets immediately? Because I know Tim's going. I hit Tim up on Facebook. He was like, Burton? You know Tim. One of these ones. Yeah, him. He's going to San Diego. He's definitely going to San Diego.
That's good.
So, I'm just saying, if we got to fill out our press stuff.
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And all the other Comic Cons we're trying to get.
Thank you, Providence.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
you might want to move there now. Since Amazon will be built like 30 minutes from there.
so hear that, California? Hear that, Tupac? We're coming for you.
Tupac.
Tupac's been dead, sir.
No, he's
California love.
No, he's not. He's alive.
Okay, my opinion on this movie is it is a bit draggy. They could have cut at least maybe 30 minutes from the movie, made a 2-hour runtime. They tried to do the capitalize off Skyfall because Skyfall was an amazing movie, and they did because so far the movie's already made 300 million already. And
Wait till next week. It'll be knocked down to number 2.
probably won't.
It's the last.
Oh yeah, I forgot Hunger Games.
It's like
That's why.
This movie would have got a 3 for me when he said you have 3 minutes to save your girlfriend and die, or come after me and live, pretty much like that.
Exactly.
But it'd have been even great if he'd blown up the other building with his friends, the new one.
That would have been way.
That'd have been a great twist. I'm like, oh, the joke's on you.
You know what would be a great twist? If James Bond died. Have they? I know they did the
Skyfall.
plot. No,
He
but
almost died.
yeah, but I know they did the plot. It came out in the 70s. No, where James Bond was married in his lifetime. I'm trying to think of which one that was called. Because he got married and then his wife died. I remember that. But they've never. I want him to feel like vulnerable. And you kind of felt that with this one. Like, you do feel it. But the helicopter thing in the beginning, that's when I was like, okay, he's like a superhero. But when he's fighting Batista, that train fight, damn.
I was like, God, like
In my mind, all I could chant was ECW, ECW. Someone got set on fire. Someone got put through a table.
You should have called Bradley
A
Cooper.
hardcore match, man. That was a hardcore match. I was thinking like Mick Foley all over again. But like, it was a great it was a great fight.
It was a good fight scene.
I know.
One of my favorite scenes. Of
I was so hoping he would. Personally, I don't even know if he's dead yet or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know if Batista's dead or not.
Yeah, he just went out. He
He's
just
a
went
strong
out there.
bastard. So
Yeah, Yeah, he survived the damn plane, the car crash, all that stuff. I'm like,
Oh.
I loved his gun. It was a double barrel shotgun on a pistol. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Actually, it was an ion blaster from
From Guardians of the Galaxy. He just picked it up.
Of course, sir. Of course, you and your Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Your love of Star Wars and orgasming over it every single time.
Batista
How
was
many times did you watch that trailer during the road trip?
I count in total in all 3 days because I was waiting in line and watched it. I take no shame in it. About 16, 17
I've told you it was more than 10.
The son of a bitch. He has an issue. He has a problem. He has a problem.
Jared, your Star Wars love is just so real.
I know. I'm surprised he didn't like. If
I feel like if you imagine a Princess Leia, she just shows up.
Oh, you did?
Check out the Facebook post on the Guys Night site or our Facebook site because you'll see a photo of me and women dressed as Princess Leia. It's a pretty funny picture.
I'm surprised.
But-
I'm surprised he didn't orgasm over Daniel Logan's hand. I was like, come on.
You can't put that in the...
It's in the podcast already, sir. It's already in there. I know. But still.
Okay. So remember, like us on our Facebook page, as mentioned before, our Twitter page, at Guys Night Movies on Instagram. Any other shout-outs that you want to give out?
Rhode Island Comic Con, thank you. You were good to us. We'll be back next year.
All right, and remember, we do what we do for the sake of the podcast. Until next time,
We're out.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from Batman the Animated Series, telling you to subscribe to Guys Night.